Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's stream. Let's do a sound check, make sure everything is working here. I got a unstable on a live Twitch average stream bitrate too high. Anyone know why that is, or do you hear me loud and clear? Happy New Year indeed. Sounds great. All right, let me know if there are some connection issues because it says unstable for some reason. I don't know why. But it seems to be working well, and thank you. It's been quite a while since my last stream. Got a Christmas, going, New Year's Eve. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and an awesome New Year. And, you're going strong in this year. Make another video with Base Hunter, eh? It was quite a while ago we did that. Looking more like Swedish Tony Stark every day. Happy New Year, Henrik. If only server performance was good as Twitch. Indeed, I don't know why Twitch is unstable. But yes, some updates regarding our current status. Obviously, we've been monitoring the servers during Christmas holidays. While we were hoping to get some recovery back, get some energy back. And things have been pretty smooth, nothing critical other than obviously some of the things that you have pointed out that we have seen. Some server hiccups issues when there are battles going on in the game. So obviously something new that are adding to this load. So we're being fully focusing on this since we came back. We have added quite a few things to the server. We also found a few things that may be affecting this, but specifically we've added some very important debug monitoring tools to see more in detail exactly what's going on when there's a big battle going on, so you can even optimize it further. So we're fully aware of that is a big concern for everyone participating in big battles, but also those that can be affected by when those big battles happens, causing some queue delays for players. So that's obviously a big prioritized thing on our table, which we are fully working on. So there will be updates and following up on this. Like I said, we have a few things going on in this patch. And when that is live, we're going to follow up on that. Hopefully we will see some big battles, quickly after that patch. We can follow up if needed. So rest assured, we are aware of that one. Alright, we also obviously have the almost never-ending client performance. As soon as the server is running as intended, we also have obviously the next step, which is client performance. To make sure a very large-scale battle to be experienced in a good way, both the server and your client performance needs to be decent, right? Especially FPS can't be too low, or it's going to be quite unpleasant. And we have made some significant improvement there as well. Some of our guys have been working a lot on the game world streaming performance in the background. There are still some hiccups when you travel the world, and those have been extremely optimized in this next patch. We've run a lot of tests and running around on our dev horses, which is like 10 times faster than the normal horses. And we can't find almost none, a single hiccup. So extremely smooth traveling the world. So obviously that's a very good thing. We also have a big performance cost on all the fur in our game. And obviously there's a lot of things using fur in our game. There's always something in your interest risk range rendering and calculating fur, such as Blaine, clades. Almost all animals in the game have this fur. And we notice a huge hiccup cost on the client there as well. So we rebuilt that function, and so far very promising result on the test server. It's like multi-threading kinda, so very much more powerful to render, calculate that kind of defer on clients. So that's also a big improvement. Also some overall things that we have optimized and improving to make sure it's as smooth as possible. We also have a few additional steps that we'll follow up on client performance later, along with combat things, updates. So that's something we're gonna go back to as well soon. It's the nanites. It's not. We don't use the nanites for that very reason. They're too expensive as a baseline. There's a lot of cool things in Unreal 5, right? But a few of them are not very suitable for a large-scale sandbox MMORPG. You know, you don't have a single-player budget in terms of you know all the cost in a single-player game, right? You can always calculate that, but you can't calculate that in a MMO game like this when players can decide to go wherever they want in what amount they want, right? So there's a few things that we are not really utilizing, such as nanites. Lumens is not the original lumens. We have optimized the crap out of it, and toggling that now is, you know, giving us about 5 FPS in our test scenario. So I know a lot of you guys are reading that lumens is expensive and, you know, that is taking all the performance. It's not really the case. We have obviously debated to give an option for it. If it gives us a lot of FPS, but if it doesn't give a lot of FPS and the game looks half broken and flickering and annoying and no one can stream or make YouTube videos or really fully enjoy it, then it's not a good trade-off, right? We always prioritize performance, but if it comes to, you know, there's a degree where it needs to be acceptable as well. But we're absolutely following up on that as well. Like I said, we have a few big focuses when it comes to raw client performance. There's still areas we know we can improve, and we're still monitoring and looking at different options when it comes to lumens. So yeah, so that's some updates when it comes to that client performance and such. We're also adding additional backend tools in this next sprint that helps us to collect a lot of valuable data when it comes to player data, all the performance, so we don't have to rely that much on reports and information coming from you guys, so we can actually just collect it more automatically when you're playing in the world, where you are, what happens, and performance. So very sophisticated tools to help us just, you know, get a better view of, in this area we have some issues, and so on. So I'm looking forward to see your experience in the upcoming one in general, just traveling the world. And if you can notice big improvements in the fur optimization and some of the other things we've done. So obviously we're going to follow up on that. Yeah, we have the resolution that makes it look like crap, right? We're going to look into that as well. We have done a few things before that we wanted to do, but there's a few things that are working against us when it comes to tools from NVIDIA and such. But there may be an option for us to disable a few things that could solve that one. We are aware and we agree it doesn't look very great when you have the squeezed resolution. So that is that. Yeah, maybe that's what we want to do, right? Increase additional FOV while we may be able to disable some of the options that make the squeeze situation. So a little bit more FOV and just looks better for everyone, and same terms for everyone. Yeah. I mean, obviously the game looks more goofy when we allow more FOV until it looks like, you know, like alien view. But yeah, I think we can agree that, you know, a lot of us want a little bit more FOV, so we're gonna look into that. Yeah, I just talked about the server, Devil's Reflex. I don't know if you missed my first point, which is the server. Fully aware, and we are fully working on it. It's prioritized. Sebastian is on it. Our guys is working on it. Just to recap quickly, we have very sophisticated monitoring tools to gather all the data we need to optimize further, but also, you know, solve the situation when there are big battles going on. Obviously, going from our record around 450 players in a battle working perfectly. I don't know if you remember that. I think it was the Act fight, right? Insanity looked so sick. All the players on the screen, all magic and arrows flying left and right, and the network was performing flawlessly. So obviously, we need to go back to that state or find that state. We have added a lot since then. So obviously, there's a few things there that are on a suspect table that we're gonna nail. Yeah, the FPS obviously is the whole different topic. On the Act fight, yeah, a lot of people, especially those a little bit lower end, was running around with 7 FPS correctly, tickety. Those that have stronger beast could run it closer to 30. So not very good FPS, but we're fully aware of that, and that's a separate topic, right? We have the server performance and then we have the client performance. Both needs to work in a good level with high, a big amount of players having a fight. And we work on both simultaneously. The freezing hiccups is worse than having a little bit less FPS in general, right? Because a hiccup can make a, win or lose situation. So we've been focusing a lot on identifying the hiccups, which we have been successfully doing. And those main top hiccups have been pretty much ironed out so far. So we're looking forward to see more big battles to collect additional data after that. So that's going to be exciting to see. Yeah, exactly. If it takes multiple seconds to send a spell, that is on the server, right? Then the FPS doesn't really matter. So it's those two things together and it works well. Both the server latency packages and client FPS should be on a decent level. So we are fully aware, and it's a high prioritized thing on our table. All right. Remove search from the server. Obviously, it's not in our hand or control, right? We try to promote non-Zerg abilities, gameplay components and so on. So there's plenty of options to not join a Zerg. But there's always that factor, right? There's these cool guilds, cool alliances. Some may want to join them, right? Some may want to be something in between. But obviously not really in our hands. But we try our best to promote skills, gameplay content around solo and small groups. But obviously there will always be a natural strength in numbers, right? But we are aware of that, and we always consider that as well. Tabar's remaining goat feature does indeed change the game for the better, and we love it. We're very happy to see all the amazing art and design you guys have been doing. Were there Tabard design contents going on? Have I missed it, or will it happen soon? We're quite looking forward to see that one. Because holy shit, you're creative. So many cool things that we wonder, how the hell did you create that art? And just using those tools. So pretty cool. What did I dodge? Real face sealer. Ron Vague. Thank you for the 6 months. Shows thievery already. I missed quite a few here. We got some raids, subscriptions and such. Thank you very much, everyone. I missed some of those, but we really appreciate it. Starting to see human nature. Indeed, indeed. But it's cool also to see some guilds that are, groups of players, new groups, kind of refusing or not really interested in joining a big alliance. They want to explore for themselves and make a small power in the future for themselves. So that's cool to see, obviously, and we want to promote that kind of gameplay as well. Did I miss the contest? What was your favorite tabard? There were so many. I've seen so many cool tabards. How tall am I? I'm 188 centimeters. Tabard looks black to my other guilds. Yeah, we have a few tickets on tabards. Textures rendering being bad. I'm not fully sure if we have it covered or know the reason exactly, or if it's already in the loop. But we are aware that there are a few of those cases that we obviously want to iron out. Quite annoying when it's just a few ones happening, so there's no clear, tell. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, that our guys suspect what could cause it. Nudity back. We're surprised that so many want nudity back. Obviously, it's a old golden gem that was a standard thing in our games. Obviously, we want it back whenever it's possible, and it doesn't really take time from us. I think we have a way to bring it back in a option. So, but we just haven't really prioritized it right now, right? But down the line, there may be an option for you to get that option back. We will see. can get back to weekly streams. I think it's a little bit too many or too regular. I don't have, you know, enough of an update every week. It's a little bit stressful for me as well, because obviously I want to prepare something interesting enough for everyone to tune in, so it doesn't just become a repetitive spam of the same task of the previous week, right? So we changed it to be around close to every patch. Before a patch, and so I plan to have a stream where I go through some of that content, prepare everyone, and, you know, just make updates. And if needed, there may be sprints that require a long time, then obviously there may be something in between. So we will have to see how we continue. But obviously we appreciate that you enjoy them and want to tune in. That's why we're here, right? So yeah, obviously we're all interested in getting more devs on the stream, right? And every now and then I ask the team, ask Sebastian, and you know, they may not be the most eager people to jump on here and be in the spotlight. You know, they follow a lot of this, they read your feedback, and you know, think that is exciting. But you know, if you're not too comfortable to be in a stream, then I don't want to force them. Sebastian being part of a stream was quite a while ago now. Mats being part of a stream, so you know, every now and then we will see that if there's an opportunity, some of them may join in. But yeah, obviously Sebastian and all the coders are quite busy now coming back. We've been planning the upcoming sprints, patches, been doing a lot of work there, obviously gathering all the current status on the server stuff. So just getting back on track, but everyone is exciting. We have got a nice recovery during holidays that was very well needed, because now I think it's going to be a very exciting year for Mortal Online. I think there will be a lot of golden content this year. There's a few big ones that we haven't announced yet, because we want to announce them in a very specific way, but the roadmap I'm going to present today, I'm sure many of you guys will be excited for some of those things. It's also obviously some of those things that have been on the top voted list from you guys. So obviously that's something that we all want, and we're finally getting to that. So I don't know if it's going to be weekly streams or a little bit less because of patch status. It depends a little bit on that, but we will update you. Yeah, we're also following up on some of the relic stuff. We're also tweaking the crack open timers and so on. We got great feedback from you guys. The waiting time is a little bit long and so on. So we're doing some tweaks on that. So yeah, I always want to flag, like I done before, the roadmap we present today. A few of them is obviously a very large one, and they are a little bit in the future, which means we may have to tweak anything, rearrange the timing, or swap places, or you know, stuff like that. I want to flag for that, so people don't get disappointed that they're not set in stone. We don't have the exact dates. What's important is to get it done, quality and polished, and then we can deploy it, right? So that's always something I want to flag for, so we don't set the expectation that they have to come in that order and there's no date set. So I want to make that clear once again. Yes, and of course we are adding the in-game votes because we want to follow up, right? It was quite a while ago since we did our last votes. So we're gonna follow up on in-game votes to have better control and see, you know, and that can be votes on anything, you know. We want to gather some information, feedback, whatever. It's very quick and easy for you to just log in the game, get a little pop-up and enter your choices, and we have that data in a good way. All right, let's proceed to the next, shall we? And then we can continue with the usual. Let me find my stuff here. Let's go into the roadmap content, shall we? So the first sprint here, it's getting around the corner, so that's not a long waiting time because of the obvious things, right? We got server focus, we got a lot of backend, we got polish and bug fixes, and of course we need to update the Christmas stuff. We've got the raffle, Krampus, needs to head home to his home, right? So not a very exciting content patch, as you can see. This is just what everyone is asking for: performance, stability, and bug fixes. So nothing exciting in this one. And this is actually being deployed very shortly. So we're gonna jump on the next one that is obviously a little bit more interesting content-wise. And that is... what the hell is... So in the next sprint, we got some more juicy stuff that a lot of you guys have been voting on. We got adrenaline system, finally. Been working a lot on the design there and iron out a lot of things. And we got some exciting updates on the AI. We got an invasion going that is pretty much refined since the first game, but a lot of cool PvE content there that's going to be more exciting for everyone to enjoy in the game world. Obviously, you guys have been... there's also always some quality of life things, such as the chat system. The chat we have today got a lot of complaint almost every day that, come on, let's make it modern and functional, right? So we're making that happen as well. We are working on additional performances when it comes to clients and performance, because we need to follow up after our next sprint, this next patch. We need to follow up on that to make sure that have we fully improved server stability in large battles. If not, obviously we are prepared to also dedicate additional work there. So both client and server performance is being focused on here. Yeah, the ally chat obviously is something we want, but also there's many questions along with that. For instance, if you are allied to 5 different guilds and one of them is not allied to them, should all of them be in there? It's quite chaotic, right? So we need to iron that out. How do we want the alliance chat to work? I saw a lot of people have been discussing that. So it's not just straightforward. Here, the ally chat, everyone allied will see that chat. You know, if you think about it, how should it work, right? So that's one of the things that we need to iron out the details, how we want to have it. But having functionals, being able to define the chat tabs and so on, obviously important to have control. It was working very much better in the first game, so we need to modernize it. Million joys. So what happens is when there's big fights happening, that's when you get affected. So yeah, it's mostly bound to fights, and you don't know where those fights are happening on the server, right? So when you experience lag or package delays, it's caused by quite often huge battles. So yes, that's one of the root cause actually, even though you don't know it or see it, because you don't know when fights going on, right? Fights going on every now and then. The backend system is huge systems, very important for the game development and quality of support services, being able to monitoring balance and everything. So again, not very exciting for you guys, but for us it's gold. Be able to see everything in real time, access everything in real time, creating graphs, etc., and taking some of this information put on our website that you also guys have been asking for is something we can do with that system in place finally. Such as player population online, server status, you know, clade popularity, almost anything can be put there. And also, obviously, as you can understand, very valuable information we need for a lot of things. Shall we proceed to the next one to show you what's coming after some of these areas? Obviously, there's also bug fixes, quality of life, and some minor features that are cool but are not set in stone, and we don't know exactly where to finish up. So they will simply be pleasant surprises. We prefer to do it that way rather than cut them afterwards, right? Right. And then we got some other exciting stuff. We got combat abilities. Obviously, it ties heavily to the adrenaline system, so it kind of makes sense. They are a little bit bound together. Got a lot of cool things going on here with the combat abilities, and we want to get it right. We know that combat is sensitive for a lot of you guys. We want to do a lot of tests there, so that's something we want to have a kind of like a free branch where we can run tests, go back and forth easily, and have it excluded from a possible patch we may need to do, to be able to just make sure it's in a good state before we go live with it, right? Because we know 90% of you want combat abilities to be spot on, good balance, and so on. And then we have something that will blow your mind. I'm not gonna go deep into in this time because I have a prepared specific stream and reveal of what that next one is, the AI technology. Groundbreaking stuff, very exciting. I'm extremely excited when I'm working on that field. It's completely new stuff, new tech, and it's gonna be one hell of a thing on the world map when it comes to MMO games, and specifically our game, obviously. I'm very excited about that. Also, I co-work with a few other giants in the world. So I'm planning to reveal that a little bit more in details in a dedicated stream and actually do live showcasing that. So that's some cool stuff. We need to evolve our game forward, right? And then also, you know, we've been collecting a lot of data feedback on TC, what's good, what's bad, what doesn't really work, what doesn't play out well, what's not fun. The circles, we agree and decide that it's not really working good enough. We are going to convert it into a grid system kind of. We saw a lot of good debates on our forums where we want to split the world in regions instead, and you fight around the regions, and those regions will obviously have different bonuses and things that you want to you benefit from controlling them and owning them. So we are taking that step. We'll listen on your feedback and we agree on a lot of things there. So we want to do updates around that part. And then I have another one that I want to show you guys. And that is this little baby right here. I don't know how many times we've got, please, for the love of God, give us a freaking North American server continent. And we have hundreds of players saying, I refuse to play the game because I want my ping. I'm competitive as fuck and I'm king. So I won't play without this. And then all my friends and all my friends say the same thing. I will only play this game if there's an American server. We have a lot of American players and it's actually been growing lately. So it kind of makes sense to take the commitment and make it happen. So we're adding another continent. Obviously it's going to be exploration and a lot of new stuff for everyone that is tired of good old Mirland. Doesn't mean that we completely stop the development of Mirland, obviously, but there's going to be a new exciting continent, and American players are welcome in, and we're going to promote the game there. We're looking at a possible partner up as well to make awareness so the American players can join in on the same terms and they can decide if they want to play in Europe or America. And of course you can travel back and forth, so it doesn't mean that we are making instances, we're not cloning Mirland, and we are not forcing you to, you know, be stuck. So you can still play with your American friends, even though some of those American friends may want to be more active on this other continent. So we're not splitting the population, we're still on the same world server, which is one of the important component, as you know. We want it to be one big world. So yeah, this has been a big one. Obviously, if we would instance it or make a dedicated American server, that will be bad for the population. So obviously we didn't do that. So we're not splitting the population, we're actually adding another continent to the same world. That was a requirement for us. So yeah, obviously quite a few big ones here, but it doesn't end there. We have a few other big things in the pipeline, but I think it's a little bit too early to obviously look into that. This will be obviously a couple of months forward before we see these going into the game. And we will also do updates and show you guys some of the progression and so on. So yeah, that is the upcoming 4 sprints, and sprint 9 is already, you know, getting close around the corner. So, and yeah, you know, as expected, not very exciting sprint 9, but the other ones have some really big ones that have been asked for quite a while now. 710 people online is quite false. This is why we're gonna put the stats on our web page so people can see what's on our actual servers and not just some Steam estimates. No, Sadaka actually helped us increase the player base quite a lot, but they were still dedicated on Europe, so it didn't attract any American players. That is what we're doing now. It's gonna be on North American regions, so American can actually play on the same terms there. We actually grow the population a lot when we released Sadaka, because obviously a lot of people are not just in it for straight PvP or straight specific reasons. A lot of players are here for the RPG element, sandbox MMORPG. They're hungry for new content, and obviously there's a lot of new content with a new continent, right? We're also running out of space on Milan when it comes to building cities. Got a lot of complaints on that, not a lot, but it's slowly growing. And performance goes with that as well. Spreading the players helps with performance, obviously. We have insane range when it comes to players and housing, as you can see in the game. All right, let me catch up here a little bit. Tell us about the adrenaline system. So the adrenaline system is a system, in short, that you gain adrenaline by giving damage and taking damage, different amounts, which means you get more adrenaline by taking damage. So that means we're trying, again, always promote skills gameplay over surge power. So if you're fighting outnumbered, you gain more adrenaline than the ones hitting you, and you can utilize the adrenaline to do special abilities that can help you in combat, pretty much. So that's in short how it is. With this system, we're also adding something really cool. I'm excited about, really excited. You know, we have this immerse mode system, and that is in place and prepared for the final step, which is the fatality part. Obviously, when you do a fatality on anything, you gain even more adrenaline to be utilized on special moves. So we add more skills and player skills here, and that's gonna look awesome. We're gonna show some tests of that soon as well. I don't know if you played like Space Marine 2 or, you know, Warhammer. They have some cool it's kind of the same system actually in their game, and it become very, very popular and people love it. And you know, we were always halfway there with the immerse mode system, but we never did the next step, which is the actual fatality and the bonuses tied to that. So yeah, that's in short the adrenaline system. We're looking into when a mage casting spell, they also gain adrenaline, similar way of you're passing damage with your melee weapon. And we're looking into some possible abilities there where you can utilize next spells with certain bonuses and effects similar to a melee strike ability. That's tied more with the next sprint again. You see some combat abilities there. Why so sad? I'm not sad. Do I look sad? Was adrenaline coming before abilities? Because the abilities can only be used with adrenaline. It's the requirement for that. You can't do it reversed. And like I said, we want the combat abilities to be balanced, refined, feel good. We don't want to just add a bunch of abilities and half of them is semi-good, some of them feel bad. So again, I want to flag for that one that is one that we will only deploy the abilities when we are happy with them. So again, the dates and set in stone is not a thing, you know, we don't have that. You know, we have a lot of things to test when it comes to the combat abilities, if all of them is going to be blockable or if you have to dodge some of them or so on. So we're not 100% until we actually play more and have your hands on it as well to get more feedback to see where we're heading at. So obviously there's tons of other features on the long list, right? We try to Obviously pick the ones that are most desirable, that a lot of people want, and make the schedule work with the team. Again, it's always a puzzle. We have animators, riggers, 3D artists, coders, different types of coders. We can't just, it's a puzzle to put together. But there will be a big surprise along with the AI technology. The AI technology will be added with a twist, and with that twist is we're going to add new professions along with that introduction is the plan. So there's some big things there that are on the list, but they're not visible here on the AI sprint, because we want to be sure it works. And again, like I said, it's one of those that we're not 100% sure that it's going to fit there, or we need to make adjustments. So it's better to wait with that one, and when we close to that sprint, mid-sprint, we can announce it and show it in a stream or such. And I think you will be pleasant surprised that, holy shit, we didn't expect that to happen here. So that's the goal, at least. TC system updates. So like I said, the order of things is a puzzle. The order of things also decide a little bit how we work as a team and what is required from everyone. Often there's multiple fields of expertise involved in these tasks, which means they need to be worked through in a different order of things. So that's why the order is decided by that, not really what I want or So the adrenaline system will come with a base function that is still very useful, but the rest is all the different combat groups types, right? So it's going to expand over time, but it will start with a group thing, some basic stuff, so we can get that part going before we add more sophisticated combat abilities. I can't really spoil combat abilities. I've talked a little bit about them in the past, what the plans are for them, right? Like a cleave wield with your axe, which means you may hit more than one enemy when you do that ability. That's one example, right? We have some bleeding cuts, another example. So there will be quite a few variation. We want to try to obviously catch one ability per weapon group, and then over time we can add more and more. Again, very sensitive ones. We want to make sure when we add one, it's safe, it's balanced, it's tested before we add them. Was there no server restart today? That's strange. That should be automatic. Are you sure about that? There was no server reboot today. Is that true? No, there was. 9 o'clock. There was a server reboot. No small content. Yes, there is multiple small content. Yes, there was. Yeah, I thought so. When dragons, you'll have to see. When like I said, we have a few more things next to this, but I think we can reach down the line a little bit and get more content ready for those, so we are more sure about them before we reveal them. But there are some exciting things after Sprint 12 that I'm sure many of you guys will be happy about. But this is quite a lot already. Let's deliver this first before we reveal next content stuff. Reason why new content is needed. Yeah, we talked about it before. Like I said, there's thousands of Americans that are not happy with non-Europe, no server in America. It's standard today, right? When you play most games today, you play on Europe server or North American server or Asian server and so on. And you consider latency in one certain way. Like we said many times, latency is quite different in our game. American can actually play and compete with the European, but it's worse on the West Coast. There's a difference eventually, right? We all know about it that have done PvP, especially when it comes to pairing and such. So a lot of people on the West Coast that think it's not fun enough with better latency to the server. They simply don't want to play the game. And you know, that number have been grown a lot. We see thousands in total that want to play the game if there's a North American server. So it's a good opportunity to expand our player base. You know, like I said, hopefully we're welcoming a lot of American players to join in that can play on that continent. But they're still connected to one world. They can still travel and participate in other things in Europe and vice versa, obviously. And of course, a lot of players are RPG players. They want new content, new explorations. They are explorers in our game. You know, we have like, there's a certain percentage that are explorers enjoying new content, and that's what they're looking forward to. And obviously a new continent is all of that, right? So big upgrade for the game, and you know, everyone to enjoy whatever they want. Yeah, we have board games. We have some other small cool features, some of them big, that are on the side. Again, depending on how many of the coders and focus we need and what they finish in time, they move on to the next, right? So again, this is not final, it's not everything, and some things may be rearranged. But this is our current setup and goal that we're working on and moving towards. Some of them are obviously set in stone, but some of them may, you know, if we see that half time, okay, we need more time or we need to adjust this or that, that's something I want to flag for, so we don't, you know, get too disappointed if that needs to happen. When you said like a plan to release 2026, no, this is this year, 2025, and obviously, like I said, we have a few more things that we are not revealing at this point. So some of these things require more than 1 month. We don't want to feel that, you know, an extreme pressure to we need to patch exactly every month. We want to make sure it's polished and refined and enjoyable before that, right? So again, we don't have any set dates. Here are some big features on every sprint, 10, 11, and 12. So it simply needs to be good enough before we deploy it, right? So again, no real dates. We have internal goals, right? And we try to achieve them, but we always need to follow up every week if we need to tweak something or something didn't go as expected, or we need more time or more testing or debugging. Anything can happen. Hellgates are not gone. It's one of those side things that are depending on factors, how we finish some of this in time and who is needed and so on. Of course, being this year is not a date, but it's obviously a quite certain goal that yes, all of this will be finished this year. I can say it with quite confidence because I obviously know our internal schedule, and it shouldn't prolong that much that we are exploring that estimate at least. We've been doing some boat designs. It's happening in the background. Yes, we know there's a growing demand for boats and ships, and I'm myself personally quite excited for ship systems. But again, we're not revealing when that is estimated. More pet armor mixed in there at all? There are a lot of content comes with Saruka, right? We have armors, weapons, all kind of things that we are also designing and ironing out. I can't say exactly when it comes to pet gear. We have new mounts on the way. We will even get thievery. You will know about that soon, in a few sprints. Plan to increase the character limit with new content. We don't plan to do that currently, no. Saruka gonna come with its own keep. Also show is The transition from outside, I guess, load screen, or is it smooth transition? So that tech part, transitioning, is a pretty complicated thing, but we have a plan for it. And I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna handle the transitioning, because obviously we are moving a player from server to servers, doing specific updates. So if it becomes too cluggish to play seamless over when you move over, we may have to do something like the resurrect to priest, you know, to flush everything and put you securely in a position. It's a bit too early to say exactly where we land there. We always push for completely seamless loading in the background, but there's always a few limitations when it comes to moving you across the continent on different servers. It takes it to a whole new level, but obviously that's always the goal. The literal only thing that could get me back, and there it is, North America time. Woo, woo. Indeed, you're not alone, and like I said, we collected a lot of this. There's a big portion of players out there that wanna play on the same terms as the European players, especially West Coast. And we have growing American players that are fully enjoying it, but those that are further away obviously will experience the latency a bit worse, right? Need a new supporter pack, eh? And general expectation on traveling between the two continents. This is going to be insane. Player base, old and new also. Yeah, Freehaven is like, you know, we agree with that. Like I said, we talked about it a few times. There's a few things we want to do before enabling Freehaven. But that is a natural step when, you know, we're ready for even more players, get even more hesitant players aboard for free. So I think that's obviously going to be a powerful marketing, making awareness of the game component that we absolutely want to do. We just want to be 100% ready for that step. So that's why also we haven't concluded it here. It's a little bit movable over time, I would say. But it's something we're going to do absolutely sooner or later. Like I said, we have a few options when it comes to transitioning. You know, we could take a boat to a continent. We could build a bridge to reach over to two new continents. And like I said, we want it to be as seamless as possible, smooth transition, but it also needs to be risk-free, right? So it doesn't depend on your loading time, if you're going to get killed or not, stuff like that. So that's some of the things we are going to polish and iron out, and obviously get a lot of testing on, so you feel that the transition feels smooth and not as a constant ambush kind of thing. How going to work the sub in the new continent? Can I play with the same sub? Yeah, absolutely. So it's one role, one game, one sub, always. All expansion is for free. As long as you have an active subscription, you will be able to access everything. That is our goal, and will continuously be along with this next continent as well. So it's not an expansion you have to buy like World of Warcraft expansion. You just download that patch for free and have an active account, and you can enjoy all the content. Will resources be able to move from AO to NA? Yes. You will be able to travel over there with whatever you have in your pockets. And then eventually ships and wagons even. And the plans to increase master points by 110. No plans at the moment on that. No, but you know, there's always room for expanding further. But no plans right now. West Coast, best coast, eh? Think so, Tron Live? LA or what? I love exciting news today. Great job. Thank you very much. We appreciate that you enjoy. We know that everyone won't be happy with everything. That's the mission impossible, right? But we hope that since we are making a true sandwich game, there will be something for everyone eventually. and hopefully there's something for everyone to enjoy. Time to move to America, eh? I quit for a good while and just started playing again. Everything seems fresh. I'm excited for the sprints coming up. Cool to hear that. Cashew, milk. Yeah, obviously people that are taking a break for a long time, which is natural in these types of games. Sometimes you need a healthy break, or sometimes you just don't have time for it. But anyone can come back at any time and take a look at our new content and updates. That's one of the cool things with this game. It will keep being a evolving game for a very long time for everyone. There's no West Coast, eh? Only New York, East Coast. I think we're doing some measurement to see where the strategic placement should be in North America to give everyone a good ping over there. Obviously, we also have the option, you know, do we want to tap into a little bit boost for some of the Asian ping, or do we want to prioritize that Europe to North America, still have the best together? You know, there's a few of those, right, that we need to consider and are calculating on now, right, to see what could be best. Shit, I'm quite behind here. I'm just scroll down now. Places server in Brazil. Do any details on the new AI system at all? So with the invasion, obviously there's going to be some focus on the PvE, right? Just making it feel great, better, fun. There's a few things we want to do, and obviously new content to fight. There's some really cool creatures, mobs that we're adding. I really love them. I can't wait to see your reaction on them. That you're gonna be able to obviously fight with the start of invasion system as well, and hopefully we'll be able to do some awesome fatality moves on them. That is small content, small scale content, Sir Tibu. So we add almost every sprint small content, because small scale content, because we know there's a lot of solo and small groups that want to enjoy the game. So we've always added more and more of that. So, you know, it's not been much focus on large scale content actually. We're getting to that later, but mostly small scale content, enjoyable by smaller scale and groups, including the combat stuff, obviously, the invasion, the PvE, all of that. You know, all of that is small scale content. Is there a technology ChatGPT NPCs? You will see. It's something spectacular, exciting stuff. And like I said, it's a link to a few things how we want to introduce things to the players in a very cool way. Like I said, I don't plan to reveal too much right now, because I have a dedicated live stream where I actually want to show you live, so you can see your reaction and how it works. And hopefully, you know, that will give you a very good view of what's to expect when that goes live. You know, we're taking leaps forward. We can't just, you know, look at our old, you know, okay, this long endless list of things. Obviously that's going to be a thing always, but we also have to take the steps and commitment to be taking tech leaps forward, right? That's something I'm always excited about, and I'm sure many of you guys haven't missed that AI is taking insane revolutionary steps forward, and obviously we want to be in the frontier there. We don't want to get behind, and it's important for us to be there, because, you know, we try to be the best, most exciting true sandbox MMORPG that is quite unique on the market, and we still are very unique, as you know. You can hate it or love it, but we can all agree it's probably one of the most unique sandbox game, and a true sandbox. We don't cut corner on making it sellout, pay to win, or theme park game. We want to make a sandbox game, right? And there's nothing like it. I'm sure that when we improve stability, performance, add more tools and sands, I think we will be able to tap into more player types and, you know, widen the audience. So not just PvP focused players. We want to reach out to RPG players, explorers, traders, pirates, assassins, solo players. You know, we want to offer everything in our true sandbox game. self-driving horses. So yeah, obviously we always evaluate to see, is there any interesting partnership, is there new technology, hardware we can utilize, and how can we utilize some of that in our game. And there's some really cool things that we are eager to add to the game that just helps it become more of a unique sandbox experience. There will be enchanting and jewel crafting, yes, but I don't know again where that will be on the map. You know, whenever some of these sprints is finished, we're getting close to other on that long list, right? And like I said, we are adding the in-game votes. I think it's even this sprint. So sprint 9 have a few cool things. It's not exciting content-wise, but some important things on top of the fixes. But you will be able to vote on things. We can add whatever. So we can have a new sprint votes to see what is the latest from our Act 2 players in the game, what they would like to see, and we will see how that helps us shape upcoming sprints as well. So finally that is getting into the game as well, that we've been talking about quite a while, so we don't have to do these external outside votes where we have to cross-reference the players. Are they dummies? Are they active? Or is it just clone copies trying to manipulate the votes? Stuff like that, right? It just takes time from us. So now we finally get that system in place, so you can simply vote and give us data without us having to cross-reference. I don't dare to estimate a timeline, but absolutely within this year. You know, we're not talking next year here. We're absolutely talking this year. And when we get closer and feel more confident that, you know, we've done everything we set to do, now we're just down to polishing and ironing, you know, polish bug fixing. We're going to do tests, and depending on that test, then we know how close we are, right? So we're going to show some of the progress of some of these features. When we feel confident, you know, we got everything done, just polish, then we can announce something that, okay, we are messing around here. This next content is going to be a little bit smaller. We have done some calculations. Obviously, Milan is very large. We learn a lot from this Milan, obviously, when it comes to land, space, interest points, where players are building, performance, size, and traveling time. But we're looking at doing the outer continent a little bit smaller. But at the same time, you know, if we are getting, as some companies and players predict, that these Americans that want to play the game, we don't want to underestimate. You know, if we get a good portion coming in, they want to build bases and participate. It can't be too small, right? And then we are all of a sudden getting server performance issues or space issues. They're all running on top of each other's. And then we panic. What hell do we do now? Do we need a new continent? Do we clone? Shit like that. We want to try to avoid that, right? So we can't be too small. But yeah, we're going to show you. We're going to reveal stuff when it comes to the next continent in a cool way. I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully you will, you know, you'll get more information on the details. Nerf Elverin speed. I think that's the first time I've heard about that. But, you know, there's always an endless clade balance, right? And people never agree. So we're very careful about doing major changes there. Very carefully, very carefully. Nerf Ogmir's slowness, eh? Thursday needs buff. I hear completely different things on what they need every single day. But again, it's going to be interesting to pop into the in-game votes. We can just pull in any questionnaire votes and you can just click very quickly and we gather quickly information that way. And not only that, again, you know, we can measure everything. With these tools, we can more effectively to see where everyone is playing, how they're playing, what clade and everything, and I can see it in real time rather than have to pester Sebastian and pull database queries. That's not very effective, right? I do a lot of research and data and work behind what's going on in the game world, what works, what doesn't work, what's used, what isn't used to, you know, move us forward in a safe way. And obviously having those tools very effectively and automatically control of them will be very helpful. And it also goes into performance, right? We can see the same thing on performance. Okay, this area is a shithole performance-wise, pardon my French. Everything like that. Do you want 80 strength requirement on tower shields? Do we want scaling dismount on earthquake? Yes and yes. Oh, maybe. Strength or height. Buff earthquake. Buff earthquake how? Do you want more damage? It's quite a powerful spell and obviously very powerful for dismounting, right? No to earthquake. Scan dismount. Earthquake is broken. I want it buff. It's broken. You see, it's always a challenge. Leave earthquake alone. Extend range. 10 different variations in 1 second. Do you see what I mean? How the hell can we do right here? Nah, earthquake is fine. So the earthquake one seems to be a very difficult one, right? No one agrees on anything on that one, but it seems like everyone agrees on strength requirement on tower shields. I haven't seen a single no on that one. Now this is a grain of salt, you know, doing it like this in here, but you see the picture, right? No, don't nerf tower shields. So that's the first one, no on tower shields. But everyone else seems to want it. There's, you know, our goal was that a tower shield is a huge heavy thing for a powerful warrior. Obviously that's not what's happening in game, right? Any mage put it on the back, even though they are 10 strength and bony skeleton and looks almost ridiculous. So it's not really playing as intended, even though we increase the weight, it doesn't happen, right? But obviously we also know that mages are wrecked nearby, you know, in melee range, and they have a few tactics only. They don't have supportive spells that help them to be, you know, solo maging in a big degree. They are kind of more supporter, right, in the background, which is, you know, a big part of it. There's a few spell things that we're looking at that could also help mitigate some of the melee damage. That could be a suitable time if we're doing the step with strength on tower shields, for instance. We revived the human paladin. All I know that I played it has rerolled them to Ogmir or Thursars. We still see a lot of paladins, human mages, Pekka. What do you mean? Death Hand? What about Death Hand? You mean a good close range spell? Yes, it is absolutely. It's one of the few options, I guess, that is quick life swap. Need to introduce Henrik to some Ogmir mages, eh? Want the new content kill the game because of population? No, Rondark, if we did a American server, so this is important to know. People got worse. Shit, are we adding a new server in America? Which means all the American players are going to leave Europe to play in America because, you know, it's a new Midland server. That's not the case. We are still building one world, but we're adding another continent so everyone can explore a new continent, but it happens to be located in North America. So all the European players can, and most likely will, explore this next continent when it gets released, because a lot of people are hungry for new content. It's just that their ping will be lower than American players, right? So it's still a choice, and you can travel back and forth. And a lot of players are in the ping range where they're fine with playing on Europe, even though they are like in East Coast America. They're playing on a daily basis. It's a growing population. Obviously, they will get a little bit better ping on a North American server, but they play on both sides happily. Same with the European players, right? Obviously, a big chunk of the European players will absolutely explore the next continent and all the upcoming continents, because a huge part of our players are hungry for new content. So we're not splitting the players, we're just expanding the world, and you can travel wherever you want. And that's a very important component to this one. If any server crash, will your server crash too? No, they will be able to run separately. So if one crash, they will continue playing on the other one if that happens. Well, looks like I'm putting off starting a family for another year. Bruce Lee Rob, I'm doing the same. This is my golden year investment in Star Vault Mortal 9. So I'm also doing that, Bruce. So we're on the same boat. Mr. Prinkley with the raid. How you doing, man? How you doing? It's always awesome to see you stream. Awesome experience with your what the hell are your character names? Sick Guy and what is the other one that is hilarious? Shawanga. No, what is it? Remind me. The Michael Jackson one. Chamone. That's it. Chamone. That is awesome, Mr. Prinkley. Love when you stream Chamone. Awesome, awesome. We need more RP. I want more of that. It just makes our day when we're working and checking the streams. You know, it also helps getting some first-hand game experience, right? When working, we don't have time play, right? And we watch you guys. Awesome streams. Bruce Lee Rob also always streaming, almost. Awesome to watch it. We really appreciate you guys streaming and enjoying and sharing it with everyone. It makes us day a little bit more pleasant also. Perm-based from voice chat for RPing. Make a ticket about that. Send to our guys, because, you know, it sounds quite strange if someone is perma-banned for normal RPing VoIP. There could be more to the story. Usually there are something. But we are very eager to also improve. That's why we're working a lot on the backend system. Support and GMs, right? We have read all of the feedback. Obviously, we're looking for all the negative, bad experience, because that's how we can improve the game. We read it wherever we can. Discord, forums, Steam. We try to collect everything to get a wider picture and then see, okay, what are the main complaints? What are the issues? And how can we solve and improve them, right? And, you know, our GMs are doing everything they can with the power they have. Sometimes they feel frustrated that, shit, we are missing this function to help with so much here. And then obviously we need to check with the dev team to see how can we add that, how can we improve that, to give them tools and better things, because we fully are aware that there can be frustration when something happens, a bug or anything, and we can't really help. That is really frustrating, right? And we feel the pain with you. It's not only you there. I think it's hard to know, but this is our baby, and when the baby's hurt and the player's hurt, we hurt, you know? So we feel the pain just as much as you do. So trust us, it's not that we ignore or, you know, are lazy or don't care. We absolutely care, and we're doing everything we can, and we feel the pain when you feel the pain, you know? So that is also why you see a lot of boring things here on the sprints, backend stuff and stuff like that. That is to help with that as well. So our goal is to greatly improve, so you experience that, you know, support this feels better, they can help with more, you know, being efficient, so we can enjoy the game better when things goes south, you know. Starfire is a good game. I hope everyone is a good game, and I know they do their best. But like I said, they're put to situations that are not fair to them and bad for the player experience as well. So it's absolutely an area that we are trying to improve as well. We also have a lot of bug fixes, like I said, going on in this one. Some really good ones that, now I had a list, I wanted to share some of them, but there's a few big ones that obviously gonna make us all more happy. Yeah, like I said, we collect a lot of data on TC. We're gonna step away from the circle radius and we're gonna step into the map region-based capture system instead, where you get abilities by holding those and benefits in different forms. We agree with that. There's been a lot of suggestions and discussions on the forums, and I think that would be a better approach for TC rather than the limited circles we have today. So QnA, we don't add small things like a spell update, a pet armor. These are the main things, right? Big things that are taking a lot of resources. There are several things in between here that gonna enter it, you know, like tons of bug fixes and polish and small tweaks and updates in systems that we don't add on this list. But obviously we'll see all of that in every single patch note. The patch notes are quite impressive and they cover a lot of different things. So it's a little bit too early to adjust that, you know, are we getting that or this? Valid questions, but when we get closer, it's going to be more, they will be more self-explanatory and answered. So yeah, that is the upcoming sprints. We're gonna put it on the web page as well if someone is not here for the stream. Let's see, maybe it's time to do the little pop. Let's see. Shall we move on to the next point, ladies and gentlemen? This little one, shall we? Yeah, like I said before, balance is a never-ending thing, right? And we're adding tools in this patch, backend stuff, where we can see things that are never used, underpowered, or so on. And obviously, that's something we want to use. We want to utilize those things that are never used by slightly buffing them or tweaking them, so we get more options for the players and also more balance and more, you know, variation. All right, I've started a giveaway, !MO2, to participate. I can't say exactly how much we're going to add in TC in terms of additional content such as buildings and functions. I want to be careful there. It's a big step already committing to changing the entire capture and holding zones and getting those bonuses. That's a big thing, right? I think it's safer to do a big update and finalize a system so it works, it's fun, it's balanced. And then, you know, like I said before, TC is kind of endless. We can add hundreds of features, NPC services and structures in buildings over time. And that list can grow, you know, infinitely depending on what we want. So, but if the core system of why do I want to own land, why do I want to siege, if that's not good enough and I can't grow, I can't be satisfied with that, then what's the point, right? We can have cool buildings, but, you know, TC control, it's a little bit in the name, right? Territory control. If there's no fun engagement in controlling territory, then how can it be a great core system for TC? That's not really playing it safe. I think it's more like getting the core correct, and I think many of you guys agree and have suggested that, you know, refine this, make it a good core system before expanding on it. And we agree to that, right? So that would be the first step. Yeah, one thing that we absolutely want to add sooner or later is brokers for TCs, you know. So you can run your shop like brokers. You know, we have farming, breeding. So there's some absolute ones that we're gonna start with, right? But like I said, at least can just keep on expanding. Very good point. Yes, Henrik, this is the first step to fix TC. If guys don't try to constantly push their territory, they should lose it. Yeah, so with this new region, I think it's going to be more exciting and engaging. And one of the big things is you can do cool, smaller sieges without insanity commitment. Now it's like, okay, we're going to siege this keep. And it goes on forever. It's a big investment, either win or lose, and that loss is exhausting, right? Having tons of regions, you can grow your land and claim those lands. That is a more efficient way of, you know, locally, small scale to large scale to fight around those regions. And those regions can have interesting bonuses. So I want to expand all these because I'm getting these bonuses to my resources in different forms. So I'm fighting for these, right? And of course the balance, we want to put those in between, range between keeps, so they are equal length. But you know, so I think that is a more fun, engaging way, and a lot of you guys have expressed that as well on our forums. And we kind of agree with that system rather than having the circus today that are more limited today when they connect to each other. And the only option you have to shrink the enemies is to destroy them. You know, it's all or nothing. With this system, there's a lot of plenty of short-term to long-term gameplay on a more daily basis. And I think that's more healthy for the game and more fun for the players, right? So obviously, you know, suggestions on what kind of bonuses for these territories. We have our own obvious ones, right? But it's interesting discussions, because you never know if players come up with something. You know, this is something we would like to fight for as well, holding these territories, making it exciting to fight for them. You know, there's a lot of room for that. That's why we're adding the backend system, so we can just tap that in the game. Any suggestions, any votes, so we can see, you know, okay, we want to add a this and that. 2x yields is a good one, right? There can be a production manufacturing one, producing materials slowly over time, and as long as you own it, you can harvest it, right? Obviously that's going to be nice to control. NPCs doing work for you. Dungeons are still locked down by Zergs, by the way. So that would be the question, what dungeon? Because we have a lot of dungeons and they're all heavily populated daily by solo and small scales. So I don't think we can say that dungeons are locked down. I guess a specific dungeon may be locked down, yes. There's taxes, absolutely. Hellgates are not dead. No. That's a cool feature, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. So it's absolutely not dead. I don't have a time frame for it. We will update more on that later. Connect fab sewers to Tier sewers. What the fuck is Hellgate? So Hellgate is portals opening in the world at random locations. You can go there with your friends, and that brings you to another dimension where you will be able to fight your way through a specific area to gain loot, fight specific components, mobs, but also another group can enter this dimension, and you clash in the middle, and one will survive out of it. So I would say more balanced fights, because you know there will be limits, like you can only bring 5 on each side. Some of them you can bring 10, some of them 25, maybe some 50, which means what's interesting there is it's a little bit, you know, magical restricted, but in one way it's balanced and maybe fun for those that want that kind of fights. You know, you can't complain that there's a Zerg in the battle when you can only bring 10 people, right, for instance. So there's absolutely some interesting component there that I think will be fun and cool in the game. There are specific ways of getting these portals as well, but there will also be random ones in the world opening up. So that's in short what we call them, usually call them Dimension 1. But Hellgates, similar concept, they are called in Albion Online. It's a very old design I did 20 years ago, but I didn't know will it be popular, is this something we want to add now? And now it's been like 20 years and we are slowly approaching it. And we're seeing it in other games being quite successful. A little bit darker and darker, Albion Online. So yeah. BRKGO, we talked about what the continent North America server means. We're not making a new American server, pulling the players. You have to pick if you want to play on Europe or North American server, like in a traditional shard instanced MMO. They're connected in one world. You travel back and forth, and you're still connected in one world. So we're not splitting the population. We're giving new land to explore, but also open up a new audience for Americans to enjoy the game that refuse to play it today. Has the giveaway happened yet? No, not yet. So there's still time to sign up. !MO2, and I will roll it in a minute. Should we put multiple entrances for Gal Core dungeon and finish build the rest of Talos? Open and get. Obviously, yeah, we learn a lot, right, from the dungeons. Sorry, in the past, and all the new dungeons we have got better and better rating from the players, and a lot of that reason is because of multiple entrances, some hidden entrances, giving more tactical options, and also giving more room for outnumbered players to have a fair chance to escape the Zerg, you know. So obviously that's something we're applying on everything new, and it makes sense to revisit some of the old ones to add some of this improvement as well. We agree. It's just a matter of where we decide to put the commitment time. The new chat have an alliance chat system. So we're working on finalizing the design behind that system, and everything is straightforward and set in stone, except how the hell do we want the chat alliance system to work? Because if I'm allied to 5 guilds and one of you guys that I'm allied with is not allied with those 5 guilds, what the hell happens with that chat? Does it become total chaos and random? Do they not see each other's? There's a few question marks, right? So we need to figure out exactly how do we want to do that alliance parts for the chat. You gotta centralize alliances. Yeah, we need to do something there, right? Slappy Joe with the 10. Thank you very much. Great roadmap, Henrik. I'm definitely afraid of the map's size growing. We need to combat that with some kind of fast travel. I think having 2 home priests with the new one, maybe having a 24 server. What do you think? I'm not sure exactly. Like I said, we have a lot of work ahead of us there. We will get to the details more and more when we get closer. There's going to be tests. But like I said, we learn a lot from Milan, right? We know we're going to have a more optimized world. It's going to look awesome. It's going to be a little bit smaller than Milan. Several improvements that we bring in to help. But yeah, there's obviously some details left that we haven't really got to. Is this the full year's roadmap? Not really. So like I said, we don't want to commit to a date officially. But like I said, this is within 2025. We're not talking next year here. And hopefully it will be a pleasant surprise when we're actually close and getting ready to deploy. And when we are close enough, confident enough, we will make the announcements. Then chat, you see all outgoing message of your allies, regardless of whether they are talking to you or not. That's how it worked in Darkfall. Yeah, we are investigating that, and we will see exactly how we have to do it, because there's a few question marks. Rapier, for sure. Make sure the guilds join an alliance group together. You can't ally one guild who has different alliances themselves. Everyone in the alliance group has the same allies. That's one question, right? So that means we need to change the rules for alliances. So that's one of the things that we have discussed. We start and developers a great 2025. Thank you very much, Mukatil. Like I said, this is my, I feel this is my golden year of commitment, and I'm very excited for some big things here. And there are some big things that we have not revealed at this point, but in due time we will. So I'm very excited for this year. We have some really good stuff in the pipeline. We're going to open up for whole new markets, and we have some groundbreaking technology we're going to utilize, and hopefully be taking some groundbreaking steps and show the world that, you know, even though we are small and independent, we are extremely passionate, and we hope that that will show with the steps we are taking. Thanks for patching out the miscreants, Henry. Towns have been saved. Miscreants, how have we patching them out? I'm not too up to date when it comes to guild politics and conflicts. Some more incentives to make it even more Zerg friendly, okay? What do you mean? What incentive more Zerg friendly? What am I missing? What have we said that are promoting Zerg? Like I said before, we're actually making commitment to make it less Zerg friendly with some of these system on the sprints. I talked about that earlier today. About the Siege Alliance, which allows for 6 hours Alliance, and that expires automatically. I'm sure we have a lot of good, interesting suggestions, and this is also maybe something we want to add on the Sprint 9 poll questions, gathering data from our active players in game to help us refine data, right? Because, you know, it's all over the place. A lot of cool ideas, and it's always a challenge to put it together and see what makes sense and how can we do these things when it comes to alliance chats and all that. I'm excited to see what you guys have been cooking. Indeed, indeed. Let me catch up, and then it's time to roll the dice for the giveaway. Mr. Soups, no, welcome back. Whatever year you wanna play the game. This is a game that will live for many years, and it will be the best sandbox game in the world with so many things to do over the years. We're here to stay a long time. Henrik, how many employees does Starvault have? Are you allowed to say? We are still around 30 people in total, all different positions. Obviously, like I said before, we have artists, specific different types of artists like role builders, prop builders, gear builders, monster builders. And then of course we have coders, and they have different areas of expertise or interest that we utilize. We have a small QA team testing that are testing all our, we do daily patches, and they're testing it every day, and everything you bug report to us gets sent to QA so they can confirm, reproduce, and make a perfect task for the coders or artists to solve those bugs. So that's how that works, and then they go into the next patch. We have music, tech, artists, you know, all kind of things, and we have obviously the design department. So but yeah, still a very small team to do an ambitious project like this. It's still madness, and you know, big companies still don't believe that we're doing all this with nothing, pretty much. Usually are 500 developers doing this kind of project, which is quite crazy, right? Blizzard have 1,000. So yeah, we are doing something crazy. I agree to that. But like I said, we are extremely passionate. That's the big difference. We are born to this. We are not just hired to do this and we don't care. We are born to do this, and we created this baby from scratch. That's why we are so committed and never give up, even though we are facing chaos and mistakes or whatever happens. which have happened multiple times over the years, right? But every time we grow stronger from it, learn from it, and try to improve and show everyone, try to be very transparent, take responsibility, and hopefully it shows. You know, we do our best, but I know there's obviously always room for improvement in different areas and fields. And hopefully we can continue slowly grow population. Hopefully that will allow us then to also grow the team further. Thanks for this amazing game and experience. You're welcome, Bruce Lee Rob. We appreciate you being here, supporting us, and enjoying the game. How many full-time employees work for Stolt? Like I said, around 30 in total. But there are, like I said, many different fields. There's so many things you need in a project like this. You know, making a single-player game is so different from making a MMORPG, and making a sandbox MMORPG is so different from making a theme park MMORPG. We picked the most fearsome, challenging full project in the world. But like I said, this is what we want to play, what we want to produce. There's nothing like it, and we are extremely passionate about it. How do I get employed at Star Vault? You send in applications, and if we need it, and if everything goes, you know, proceed from that, then that may lead to something like that. But yeah, we are very careful when it comes to growing, because, you know, like I said, we have limited budget. We need to be careful, and this is not a project for everyone. It's very specific. It can be stressful at times, and there's so many challenges always that needs to be on top of. So sometimes people are just simply not fit or right for this, or, you know, so that's also something. We have 430 employees. We are a company that sells game and have subscription going that covers our employees. That's why we're not working for free. We're not giving the game for free. And that is why we need subscription to cover the employees and the development that we give back to you in form of content and improvement of the game. Hope that makes sense. But yes, they're all full-time. It's not a hobby project, you know, that we can do a little bit whenever we want on the side of auto work. This is our fully commitment. It's a stock company listed on the stock market. About 8,000 owners or so, share owners, that are part of this journey, that made investments to help us get going. Because obviously it's expensive to develop a game in the hidden without selling anything, without having a product for several years, and then you're releasing. That's the first opportunity to be able to hopefully make you know, sales, right? But like I said, it's always a challenge, and you know, the world is filled with giants, awesome developers and companies out there with enormous resources. So obviously it's a tough business. But we don't really compete with anyone, because we do our own thing, and it's so unique. And it's like today's modern developers, and especially companies, I would say, they're not. Many of them may not be true gamers or passionate about this is the game. We are so passionate about building this. They are just hired to be a CEO, or just see, okay, what works, what sells the most. Well, it's Fortnite today, it's LOL, and you know, those kind of game. Okay, and World of Warcraft in MMO genre. Okay, let's copy them and make them a little bit better. That's a good concept that worked in everything in business and life today, but I also obviously apply it on games, which means we have 50 or more WoW clones, and then we will have 50 Fortnite clones, Apex, and all of those. And you know, sometimes they're cool and improvement and good and become successful, but it's a fierce competition, right? We're quite happy to be quite alone in a true sandbox era, and we see there's a lot of hungry players for this game. A lot of them haven't found it yet, or doesn't even know we exist. So we have steps to take down the road here when we have things under control, more space. The North American server, for instance, to make awareness that welcome in American players. It's time to join Mortal 9. You know. Yeah, we are not splitting the population. We won't make 2 instanced servers to split the population. That would be bad. So just more exploration, and you travel the world however you see fit. But yeah, unlike Immortal 1, it will be located in North America. Because like I said, there's a few thousand players that refuse to play a game like this if they don't have the latency they want and need. And even though we explained that you don't really need 6 latency like you do in Counter-Strike, it's fine with 100. I won't, because I've learned this is how latency works in those games and I refuse. We all know it's not really the same comparable case, but we also know that when you are on that edge, there will slightly be a difference, right? Henrik is lying about lumens. Alright, Biscuithoven, it's really good that you know better than us and Epic Games. I'm quite surprised though how you know that. It's always interesting. It's very easy to type something and think that is the truth. But I actually talked about lumens in early of the stream, explain a little bit about that and what it means to have it a toggle or not and what it brings the clients. But more on that soon enough when we deploy our improvements in game. East Coast, we are doing some calculation on where it should be located for good overall for all American players, but also an improvement for maybe Asian market, but also a possibility to be good enough for European players to enjoy that continent. So we are not 100% clear on where the final position is. We will do a further investigation. Yeah, Unreal 4 had more frames because of it's a whole different render pipe. It's not because of lumens. The entire engine is completely rewritten when it comes to render pipeline. That is the cause of very different experience on CPU and GPU load in Modline 2. So that is not lumen to be pointed at only. Like I said, we prioritize performance on clients and you will notice improvement on the client, no doubt. We have a few steps working on. This next patch already do some major things on all freezes and hiccups, huge performance optimization on all fur in the game, and you always have fur on your client because there's always an animal or a plane or something nearby that gives quite a hit. So we are working very hard to optimize the pipeline in Unreal 5 for our game specifically, and even rewriting some things that are standard, but we rewrite it because it's not good enough for our game. Yeah, free-to-play Haven, we all agree that's a very powerful way to get new or interested or hesitant players aboard for free, and hopefully a portion of those will become long-term players. So that will happen, but we need to have certain stages, server under control and everything, you know, okay, now we're ready for more players on top of what we're already planning on. Sounds like a bunch of potato pieces. Well, the thing is, obviously we can't expect everyone to have next generation hardware, right, across the world. So obviously it's a little bit on us to squeeze the juice out of the software to be friendly on the hardware. But obviously we have to pull the line somewhere, right? Some people playing with a 10 years old CPU will absolutely struggle, and we are transparent with that. You know, we have to say it's not built for that kind of hardware. It will be a bad performance or even not even playable. That's something we need to be we try to be clear on. But at the same time, like we said, we want it to be quite scalable. Obviously now the new generation hardware is coming this year. Hopefully that will help push the boundary a little bit forward. But we can't just rely on next gen requirement, right? Let's do the roll, guys, before I forget about it again when we go through all these random questions. 1 minute if you just tune in, expedition mark MO2, and I'm rolling the dice. How much long time players you have right now? Long-term players, what do you mean? So one other thing, there's always these debates. Oh my god, how many players do we have? And some people look at Steam chart, it takes a hiccup on the Steam chart and think that's our total player amount, which is ridiculous. If it says 1,000 players on Steam chart, that doesn't mean we have 1,000 players actively playing and supporting our game on a daily basis. It's so skewed, that picture, and it's strange that we can't get that facts through. We wouldn't be able to survive with 1,000 players, obviously. That's way too few players to support this project. So we have way more than that. And the simultaneously online players are not very accurate on Steam charts. You know, we've always been called out, oh, we were lying, that's super accurate, that's how everyone uses. It uses a trend and approximately, yes, but it absolutely doesn't cover all of them. And it updates once an hour, and every time it can also miss an accurate update, which means it takes zero that tick, and it breaks the average down very quickly. And then we have the weekly reboots, takes always a tick on 0, breaks it down further. So the only conclusion is to put them on a web page that shows all them players, including Epic Game players, and all that are not included in the so-called Steam charts. And it also updates much frequently, so you can even see, wow, 50 people logged in to be part of a siege or whatever, you know. That would be more noticeable in a more accurate uptick. So there's several things we're gonna put on our web page. You know, server status, really good thing. If someone struggles with their connection or there's a bad routing, they ask in random places, is the server down or what's going on? Then they can just go to the web page and see, okay, all services is operational. The broker is not seems to be working for me. Then they can go to the web page and see the broker server is running, and all that kind of things. And like I said, player population from all servers, from all platforms, can be shown there. And other stats, and interesting stats, and economy, and, you know, played used, to see, you know, wow, we only have 5% is using this now. What's going on? You know, that's clearly something we may want to buff or work on. So a lot of valuable information for us, and some of them could be interesting for the public to also look at. Whisper of Fall. So, like, it's a good concern, and obviously the first question of all, right? We are adding the new content to get more players, and new content for old players that are hungry for content, which means more players will log in, come back, be excited, and a whole new audience can actually play for the first time ever that refuse to play because they are West Coast. So the goal is that it will bring new blood, new life, new excitement, new traveling across the world along with that kind of content. It's always been planned for, but it's even more important since we see so many American players refuse to play the game because they're West Coast and they don't want to try it out even. So, and like I said, it's not an instance. If it were an instance, then yes, it would be very bad to split the population. We would never do that. So it's in one world, they play together still, they can always interact with each others. We don't have an exact date per sprint. Every sprint may be a little bit different depending on requirement, polishing, testing, and so on. Some of them are really big, so we are very careful, and it's important that we can't rush things out. Big new systems, they need to be really good, and for that to happen, we need enough time to reach that point. So I can't say any dates, but like I said, we try to make estimates and updates the closer we get. And obviously, you know that when we are getting ready for testing, that means we have finished and done what we found, and it's up to, you know, QA and players to help us to see if we find anything else that we need to address before we deploy. But still, it's always, you know, we fully understand majority of our random player are not interested in helping with testing, joining PTR. It's just simply how it is for any game in the world. And since we are smaller than the giants, then that means we get even less. So we can find a lot of good things. It's very helpful for those of you that help us participate in PTR, catch things, help with balance. It's really valuable. But there will always be something that, you know, not until we reach a few thousands of roles and players, they may find something that we need to address. So we're always on standby, following up quickly after any patch if there's something that requires that. Give incentives to do PTR. What kind of incentives would we give and how? You know, it's always that resources, time, who handle that, what is that? Again, I don't want to have a blaming card, but we are very small with limited resources. So even though it feels logical, everyone else does it. It may be Blizzard doing it, yes, and they have billions and thousands of employees. Then everything is easy, right? I would love to have those kind of resources and say, sure, we will do that. And I just tell one in the team, do this, add this, bam, and it happens. That's my dream scenario, right? To have that kind of resource to be able to do a lot of that. But now we are very much limited. We have to carefully plan exactly what everyone is doing and, you know, to be able to deliver in time and so on. Make PTR available to all who owns the game, even without subscription. There's some very bad things that comes with that, unfortunately, that you may be able to guess as well. So that's not a good thing to do. It will be a lot of crap for us. So I'm not sure that will help, you know, even out some of the more helpful tests we may get. And like I said, most players are not interested in spending time on PTR. They're happy to see the patch go live. They don't care about PTR. They don't want to fill around with it. And some of them want to be exciting and feel fresh when it goes live. So I'm not sure that alone will simply solve it, right? All right, it's giveaway time before we get lost of track again here. Let's roll the dice, guys. Let me hide these things so we can take a look. Right, good luck everyone. Here goes our giveaway. Good luck everyone. Boom. Mortal Line, get yours now on the Twitch page. Let's go. No thievery, what a joke. What a joke. Stan, wait down the line before you jump conclusion. Congratulations, Melly Farrell, you have won. Alright. Let's take a look. Melly Farrell. Jumping conclusion, not a good thing. Not a good thing. It just asks for disappointments. Unnecessary. Stress, unnecessary. Unnecessary. Let's take a look here. Do we have Mary in the guild? That's in the guild, in the chat. Let's take a look. Merely Farrell. Check your DMs here on Twitch. Gonna get that covered. Gonna make that chicka boom boom boom. Indeed. Can I remember swears I ordered one back in beta and the front were off before launch. That's quite disappointing. I had mine for, I don't know, a year. My front is fine. Maybe did you cook them too hot? They're a little bit sensitive in terms of the cooking degree, you know, maybe that. But I can't say anything else. Maybe they don't last too long. But I've had quite a few since day one without losing it. God damn, man, that kind of sucks. A mug broken when you get it from transit. Yeah, some of those handling packages are not very careful. But if you contact the support behind that company that we use that handle them, I think they will refund you one. They've been quite helpful. They wanna, you know, be supportive to have a good reputation. So I think they will help if you would reach out to them. We don't handle that part, as you can expect. I have a nice mug, eh? Merle Farrell, are you not here? Have we written here or did we miss him? Because I need to hand out that key, you know. Good evening, Henrik. Could you consider high score ranking for specific fish weight, high score tab? So we have that system now finally supporting that system. You know, we can add leaderboards, ranking, stats, as you've seen me done on a few things already. It's just a matter of time, right? What do we want to add first? So it's possible, yes. We don't have it scheduled currently, but we will most likely schedule some of those things over upcoming sprints. We have not determined the location of the server in North America yet, but we're doing some experiments to see, because it's also neighbor locations that can benefit from another server location, right? You know, we're getting closer to the Asian market if we go more West Coast, you know. So we're looking into that. There's an option to be centralized in America to make it a little bit more even for USA, but also, you know, somewhat okay for Europe. The thing is, when we've done tests within North America, all within North America are under the gray zone when it becomes problematic. So I don't think it's very critical if it's more West Coast or East Coast. All within America will have enough ping to fully enjoy it, like the European, all the European apps pretty much on Europe server. So I don't think it's that critical. Like I said, it's not that extreme latency critical like Counter-Strike. But like I said, we haven't really finalized the location yet. There's still plenty of time to look through that. And also some service and checking ping and such in our game based on Sprint 9 going live. So we can actually collect more data there from our players. Chicago, eh? Mexico. West and East Coast will go to war for it, so rather put it in Australia. Australia, eh? When we're done ping from the different hubs we have available for our hosts within North America, all, you know, East, West are within the threshold for you know, very good experience when it comes to ping latency for Model 9 specifically. So I don't think it's gonna be a big concern where it's placed. It's not like, shit, West Coast missed out again, or, you know, West Coast, I mean, East Coast, we have a lot of East Coast players that enjoy playing on Milan without major issues. But like I said, obviously more West Coast struggle over to Europe. But as long as it's placed somewhere in North America, West Coast will absolutely be within the threshold. Sorry. It doesn't look like Miller Farrell is here. I think I need to do a new reroll, but you don't have to type MO again. You're already in the list. I don't refresh the list. So I think we have gone through the 5 minutes before we need to reroll. Merle Farrell, anyone seen him, heard him? He doesn't respond to my message, so I guess he is not here. Stain, you have to wait a little bit. We haven't revealed everything, so take the little chill pill for now, please. And you will see how we progress over these sprints. Alright, let's do the re-roll. He is not responding in time here for the giveaway. Alright, I'm rolling. I'm rolling again, guys. A new chance. Bam. Let's go. You don't have to type it again if you already done it. Congratulations, Professor, eh? Professor. Did we got Professor in the house? Did we got him in the house? People funny. Type it again, 100%. Professor. Good old Professor, eh? Is he here? He is here. Awesome, awesome. Congratulations. Finally, lol. Thank you for the bits. Alright, one moment and I will pass you a code. Do you see the DM, Professor? He's bought. Great. You're welcome, Professor, and thank you. Thank you. You're one handsome devil. Thank you very much, Elvin Likin. Won the first time. Merle Farrell, but he wasn't responding within like 10 minutes, so we did a quick reroll. Alright, so that concludes the giveaway for today. And I guess we are on the ending notes. So if you just tune in, we have gone through the upcoming patches. Again, I flag for things may change, have to rearrange, something may need to be cooking a little bit longer. We also haven't added everything. There's a few things that are unsure of the time-wise and resource-wise, but they may pop in there as a little pleasant surprise. Better to over-deliver than, you know, not being able to deliver what we hope to. Looking forward to new stuff in 2025. Next streams. Thanks for the best game ever. Thank you very much, Maddock. Appreciate it. MO2. I think there will be some really big milestones, exciting things happening this year, along with these sprints. Some really important steps finally. We have the server large scale hiccup, obviously we need to take care of, that we are fully focusing on right now. I'm quite confident we will get back to where we were when we had those big battles without any latency issues. It's something that went in that we are struggling a little bit with, but we will get it sorted. And we will continue to refine the FPS so your client can handle the large scales better as well. We already done a few things here. I'm very much looking forward to take note on this patch when you travel the world, pre-patch and after patch, how smoother the transition is, because that's where we put a lot of effort. We managed to remove a lot of hiccups and streaming hiccups that will make a huge difference when it comes to just traveling, especially if you're, you know, in a fight and you don't want to have that hiccup or freeze, right? So those are very important. We had the best fight last night ever with no lag, 50 versus 50. Yeah, I mean, it can still work well, but in certain locations and circumstances, a big fight affect a lot of players in a negative way. We can see it happen, we got the reports, so we need to get that one sorted as well. So it works all the time, right? The reliquaries are meant to stay through server restarts, but they still have a decay timer. We may want to display this one so it's not confusing part there. But the gear types, they get wiped. We may want to change those as well later to also be more persistent after reboots. Hiccups in Haven? What do you mean? What kind of hiccup do you have in Haven? You will see how you will travel to the next continent. We will reveal contents in a nice way soon enough. Soon enough. We just want to make like the big components. There's been a lot of questions, expectations. When do we get this? Do we get that? So obviously we try to cover a lot of those questions with these 12 up to sprint 12. But there's a few things also after that we don't want to reveal at this point, but we will. So yeah. Experience lag stutters constant Haven too. So I suspect you mean FPS stutters. So there's two different things, right? We have lag, latency, package queues issues, and then we have FPS issues. And I highly suspect you referring to the FPS stutter on Haven. But it's two different areas. More persistent OP gear. No, so gear obviously will have a, you know, the durability that obviously decay them. So that's one balance. Obviously we don't want relic weapons to be persistent in the game world in terms of you get to keep it forever and use it forever without it decaying. We have a natural decay time that we can display on everything, so it eventually goes out. And then of course gear have the natural durability, right? Which we can fine tune however we want to if they persist too long or too short, right? Is there a way to give subscription to a friend on Steam? Good question. I don't know how that works even, if that is possible. Does anyone know? Can you gift a sub on Steam? I'm not sure. I'll look into that. So we're tweaking up on the relic as well, you know. Some people said it becomes a Zerg fest if the rocks stays in 30 minutes and all Zergs have time to go there. And we kind of agree, we see that happen. So we actually changed that in Sprint 9 as well. So they crack open way faster, which means possibly less Zergs have time to gather. So we'll listen on that feedback, so that's good. So that's actually being updated in this next patch. You cannot, just via Steam gift card. I see, Professor. Thank you for that information. You can get the new orb vendor in our TCMate shop. Good question. Maybe we can do that, or I'm not sure actually. You know, there's the chance of transporting these things, right, to the city to make the trade. It's a little bit part of the gameplay interactions. If you can have them next to the relic drop, that changes things quite a lot, right? Artifacts should land in the water a small percentage of the time. We decided that you shouldn't be able to swim with a relic for some specific reasons, and problems if someone swim out with a relic, place it deep sea, and just annoying things and stuff like that. So it traces for land when picking a landing location to avoid some of those possibly annoying things. Yeah, there's quite a few things we don't mention in these sprints. Mages focus is one of them. Like I said, there are room for several things that we haven't fully decided yet, because we are not 100% sure how much we're going to need some of the developers' help in certain areas here. And since we don't know that, it would be risky to place them and be kind of forced to commit to that. And the developers, if they need more time, will be stressed to life, you know. So there's a reason why you only see a limited amount of things here right now. And that is for us also to secure that, you know, we want to make sure that we can deliver what we announce before we can move on. And as we go on, we also may update it on, okay, we managed to do this, we managed to finish this as expected, now it may change a little bit. So it's not set in stone 100%. Like I said, it may update in different ways. The Holy Fool, thank you very much for your 28th month. Just got here. Can we have Relic not have a delay? That way it's not just for big groups. I just commented on that 1 minute ago, so I guess you missed it with 1 minute. And yes, it's already going into the next patch. The opening cracking Relic will happen much faster than it does now. For that very reason, we agree. Tons of you guys gave feedback that it's a little bit too long, and you know, it allows for constant surging very easily. So we agree and we change it, so it goes in next patch. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I surpassed the 2-hour marking that I have set up as a stream time goal, to not overdo it and repeat myself and bore you out with too many repetitive answers. QnA and MO2, thank you very much for the 2 month. I appreciate it. Is this the whole roadmap for the year? It's not for the whole year, but like I said, room for tweaks, adjustments, rearrangement, additions is something I want to flag for. But we have a few things more we want to add when we feel a little bit more confident with some things out of the way. But yeah, these are things during the upcoming months, 2025. We're not talking next year. All right. If that's the final question, I guess we can wrap it up. Like I said, I'm gonna there's gonna be streams like usual before every patch or updates, and there may be something in between. But I also have a dedicated, very exciting patch for Sprint 11. I have a dedicated patch that I wanna do something show something very exciting. But there will be an announcement and information about when and where when that gets a little bit closer. Did my stream just hang itself? I don't see anything updating. Let me do a quick update. Now, maybe? Alright, now it works. That was strange. Everything froze for me for a moment. Now I can see what you're writing as well. Good stream. Sprint 9 fix bug. Sprint 10 fix bug. Sprint 11 fix bug. There will always be bug fixes in every sprint, especially this one we are working on right now. Alright. I've explained a little bit about the adrenaline system and the compatibilities. There will always be a recap of my streams, and we're going to post it on the web page. So if you missed the stream, you can always watch that recap. There will be some information about it and what you can expect as a baseline on this. But there will be more when we get closer as well. We're going to do some showcases, so don't worry, you will get the fine details soon enough. All right. Wolfshite, good one as well. Thank you for that. You usually do some really good recap on all the kind of information, including streams as well. So we appreciate that. So that's also a good one. You can always check his videos out. All right, let's take a look. Sorry. Do we want to do a little raid today? Who do we got? Who do we got? Got a few streamers running. Let's do the usual Wolfshite. Sorry, when I'm tired I have to think twice before pronouncing it. Wolfshite. Zeit. Wolfzeit. Is that correct? Wolfzeit. Let me find my little button here. Correct. Great. Nailed it. Zeit. Wolf Zeit. Zeit with Zeit, indeed. You were right the first time, eh? Let's do a little quick poll. Let's do a little raid. I'm gonna take a quick look here again. quick vote here. We got a few streamers we could pass. Oops. Okay. Quick vote. And I'll do a little rate. Thanks for the stream as always. Take care. Thank you very much, Mr. Prinkle. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to see your next stream as well. Always a pleasure and entertaining to watch your streams. And everyone, it's always I always tune in on everyone's stream to take a quick look and sometimes sneak around to get some first-hand experience from external window. Okay, a few seconds left on the raid. Thank you for stepping in, K Beer. Thank you for long way to Steam. Absolutely, Enklenke. Do I say that correct? Enklenke. How do you pronounce that? Enklenke. Zero trigger it is. You're welcome, Cerebusa. See you later, Azer TV. Alright, zero trigger it is. Let's do the raid here. Who won the key? Professor won the key. Alright. Thank you everyone, as usual, for participating and joining in and supporting us. And all of your questions. Always a pleasure to hang out with you guys. So let's... Alright, they changed the whole thing with the windows. I'm always confused. Okay, I need to search. Whoop, shit. The hell? There he is. Alright, let's raid and say hello to Zero Trigger. Everyone, thank you very much as usual. We really appreciate your support. And I hope to see you in the next stream. Alright, thank you very much. And bye bye.